Keep going. 10 Ways to Stay Creative in Good Times and Bad, by Austin Kleon. This summary is brought to you by Hook My Book. The message of Keep Going is that while today is the only day that matters, it's important to find a routine that will help you disconnect from the world and connect with yourself and your creativity. The author argues us getting outdoors and taking a walk, and advises focusing on the value of what you're doing rather than worrying about getting things done. Take one day at a time. The author talks about how people who are not creative often think that the creative journey is something that is too lofty or heroic. The creative life is not linear. It's not a straight line from point A to point B. It's more like a loop, or a spiral, in which you keep coming back to a new starting point after every project. And that no matter how successful you are, you will never really arrive. The author also talks about how you should try to live just one day at a time and not worry about tomorrow. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. Establish a daily routine. Your daily routine is what helps you make the most of your days. You should have a routine for each day of the week, and you should modify your routine as necessary. For example, on Mondays, you might wake up earlier and do some writing, and on Fridays, you might relax and read. What your daily routine consists of is not that important. What's important is that the routine exists. Cobble together your own routine, stick to it most days, break from it once in a while for fun, and modify it as necessary. Make lists. A list can help organize your thoughts and make it easier to do something. A list can be of things you're grateful for, things you need help with, or things you don't want to do. Lists can help you make decisions, and can also be a way to keep yourself spiritually on track. Finish each day and be done with it. Every day is a new opportunity to start fresh and make the most of what comes along. Don't focus on the negative aspects of the day, whether it was a tough class or a bad conversation. Focus on what you did well and what you want to do tomorrow. Every day is like a blank page. When you're finished filling it, you can save it, you can crumple it up, or you can slide it into the recycling bin and let it be. Only time will tell you what it was worth. Build a bliss station. The author believes that in order to be creative, we must have a place where we can detach from the world and focus on our art. This place can be anywhere, but it is especially important to find a time when we can be alone to get creative. What's clear is that it's healthiest if we make a daily appointment to disconnect from the world so that we can connect with ourselves. Kids, jobs, sleep, and 1,000 other things will get in the way, but we have to find our own sacred space, our own sacred time. You can be woke without waking to the news. Many people get upset when they wake up to the news because it's hard to not have anything to focus on. It's better to try to focus on other things during the morning so that you don't get too upset. It's not sticking your head in the sand. It's retaining some of your inner balance and sanity so you can be strong and do your work. Airplane mode can be a way of life. Nina Kachadurian is an artist who uses long plane rides to create art. She takes pictures of herself using her camera phone, things she's packed for her trip, and materials she finds on the airplane. She sometimes adds salt to in-flight magazine photos to create spooky images of spirits and ghosts, and she sometimes folds up her sweater into gorilla faces. She'll dress herself in toilet paper and seat covers in the airplane bathroom and take selfies that recreate old Flemish-style portraits. Kachadurian is usually unnoticed by other passengers on her flights, but she has occasionally been asked what she's doing. Learn how to say no. Some people say that in order to protect their sacred space and time, they have to learn how to decline invitations from the world. This means that they need to learn how to say no. Sometimes it can be really hard to say no, but it is the only way to say yes to your art and your sanity. Creative is not noun. The author talks about how people can stop worrying and start living by doing things that are important to them, rather than worrying about things that don't matter. One of the ways that people can do this is by focusing on doing the work that is important to them, rather than worrying about what job title they will have. If a person focuses on doing the work that is important to them, they will eventually get a job title that is appropriate for them. Real work is play. The author discusses the idea of child's play and how it differs from adult play. They go on to describe how play is the work of the child and how it is also the work of the artist. The author then quotes a street painter who says that play feels more like play to him and that the great artists are able to retain this sense of playfulness throughout their careers. Some ways to keep from getting bogged down and maintaining a childlike state are to seek out new toys, make bad art, and hang out with young kids. Protect your valuables. There is a contemporary cultural phenomenon that drives people crazy. People start businesses based on their hobbies, like knitting or baking, in order to make money. This can be dangerous, because it can turn the thing that people love into a job, which can be tough to sustain. It's important to be mindful of what impact monetizing one's passions could have on one's life, and to budget accordingly. Ignore the numbers. Creativity is not only about making beautiful things, it is also about the process of creating something. However, online metrics, such as likes, followers, and reblogs, can be very shallow and misleading. For example, an image that gets a lot of likes on Instagram might not mean that many people have actually seen or liked the image. Where there is no gift, there is no art. The author is discussing how successful someone can be, and how success can be defined as success on somebody else's terms. The author also argues that when art is taken over by market considerations, it can quickly lose the gift element that makes it art. The author encourages readers to make gifts for others, to volunteer their time, and to consider how their work might inspire others. You have everything you need. It is easy to assume that if only you could trade your ordinary life for a new one, all your creative problems would be solved. If only you could quit your day job, move to a hip city, rent the perfect studio, and fall in with the right gang of brilliant misfits. Then you'd really have it made. All this is, of course, wishful thinking. You do not need to have an extraordinary life to make extraordinary work. Everything you need to make extraordinary art can be found in your everyday life. Slow down and drag things out. Drawing helps us see things more clearly and focus on the present moment. It's an ancient practice that can be done with cheap tools available to everyone. To slow down and pay attention to your world, pick up a pencil and a piece of paper and start drawing what you see. Finally, art is not just about making pretty things or art that is easy to understand. Art is about making things that can help us see our lives in a new way and make us feel hopeful. Artists help us look at our lives and see possibilities that we may not have seen before. End of the summary. Thanks for listening.